I actually, this is actually reminding me a lot of the superior universal alignment.
The thing you were talking about reminded you of something?
Yes.
No, not you.
You
on behalf
see
of
exactly.
you.
This one's not getting it.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't.
It's not. It's going to be a problem.
We don't.
Hopefully, this story will help you understand.
Thank you.
We don't want to.
Listen, we is not a pronoun that exists in this plane.
Thank
all right?
you.
Thank you.
Well, that doesn't exist.
It does on this plane. We exist on this plane.
Nope.
Let me tell you about this superior universal alignment cult. Started by a Miss Valentina de Andrade, which is Argentinian in origin. Sounds Italian, but the woman is from Argentina. She's Argentine.
Argentine?
Yeah, it's like a fruit.
So sweet Argentine plum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of tangy.
So Valentina was around 1981, was starting to gain prominence in a very remote part of the Amazon jungle in Brazil as a clairvoyant. And she was providing, I guess, eerily accurate readings for local people regarding situations they were having or the future or whatever. She was the local seer of that place in the Amazon, which is the Amazonian town of Altamira.
High lookout, right? Pretty much like
high view, top
high view.
view.
Yeah.
You with
Overwatch.
the big brain.
But so that would be in Spanish, which Brazilian, Portuguese.
How weird. Oh, well, okay. I thought you said Argentinian.
Well, she is Argentinian, but this took
that's
place in the
Brazil.
Amazonian area of Altamira.
Okay.
Valentina began basically in 1981 claimed to have had a breakthrough revelation that she had been contacted by extraterrestrials and they had given her exclusively this divine knowledge about how to escape the impending destruction of Earth that was going to take place in 1989.
It's always that.
Wow.
It's always that. They've always got a good specific date.
It's a good motivational tool. You go around and tell people hey, none of this matters anymore. Do what I say. And enough lost people are probably going to fall in line.
That exact line of thinking, though, makes people go, no, none of this really does matter.
Right.
And then they end up dying, which kind of goes into that psychology of you, God, what is it called when you make something happen?
Self-fulfilling prophecy?
Thank you. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So if I were to tell someone, hey, look, give away all of your money, it doesn't matter. You might be dead in a couple months, a couple years, or you might come back from that. But if you believe that, that's exactly your reality.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Nostradamus predicted the day of his death. I'm like, well, that's pretty easy to do if you're
you
willing
decide,
to commit.
if you write your death in a planner,
And then-
and kind of make motions to kill yourself that day, it's probably going to happen.
Good chance.
6 a.m. buy sheet cake. 7 a.m. dead.
Right suicide
Dead.
note.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
Sheet cake.
Leave a cake for whoever finds you, right? Not make it such a terrible thing.
Hey, I'm dead, but here's cake.
Here's a cake. Use it for the, whatever.
Do you leave it in the fridge and leave a note that's look in the fridge?
You don't know how long it's going to be.
It's like a super 70 kind of note to get. Do I even want to look in the fridge? What the fuck's in the fridge?
What's in the fridge?
What's in the fridge?
They open it up.
Go look in the P.S. Go look in the fridge.
I would never open that damn fridge. I'd be like, no, not opening the fridge.
Okay. So Valentina also wrote a book, which I like. I enjoy the title of this book. God, the Big Farce.
Nice.
So she basically, the crux of her message was that people needed to shed the negative energies of life in order to be buoyant enough to get on the spaceship to go to whatever place that they were going to go after Earth was destroyed in 1989. So part of that gospel was to leave your children behind. Children were a source of negative energy, which we can all agree is a thing. And they needed to cast aside their children so that they could be lifted into the spaceship.
You're free range kids now.
So she got several people to do this, and I don't know if there's an exact number on.
I think they just hated their kids.
I mean, that's another good.
Do you hate your kids? Join our cult. We got it.
That's another good motivational tool, right? Yeah,
probably,
the world's gonna end, and also you don't need kids. Like, oh shit, this dude's got a good package. This is a good pitch, sir.
He's got it all, checking all the boxes.
What a crazy mindset to just look at this life that you've created and just say, like, if I had one sandwich, I'm eating all of it. You know, like thinking of this child as like, it's holding me down. I got to get rid of my children.
Oh yeah,
like
we're throwing all this shit out. No more mortgage, no more kids, no more fucking car payment.
That's it. Like
I'm going out into the Amazon. Valentina's got the answer. Again, the one of the core pillars, sort of casting aside your children, but more specifically that children, for some reason, Valentina wouldn't share with other people that children born after 1981 were especially evil and needed to be cast off immediately and didn't need to be around anyone. And even more specifically, boys born after 1981.
Ooh.
They were evil, as she put them.
Kind of agree.
Yeah.
I can
kind of agree.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Yes.
1981 through 1989, she had a pretty successful cult following, and there was just sort of people leaving their families behind and going to kind of get ready for 1989, which is going to be the end of days.
Good for her.
Right?
Yeah.
So far, not too terrible. But in 1989, it comes and then it goes, right? And then we're into 1990, and there's then the members of the cult have to kind of reconcile what they've done with this like doctrine of what they thought was going to happen, and what they came up with was that they hadn't lived their lives to the fullest. They hadn't done enough to get on this spaceship to leave Earth, and that they needed to purge more evil from Earth. To get onto the spaceship.
What did they define as evil? What did they kind of take as like, oh, well, that's okay, and no, that's bad. Don't
being
do that.
born after 1981 as a male was enough to be evil.
Okay. That answers my question. That theory checks out.
When were you born, Cass?
1986.
Checks out. Checks out.
It makes sense.
Yep.
I wouldn't say I'm evil. I'm just like, I don't really care. So between 1989 and 1993, 19 children disappeared and 5 corpses were found.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, took a dark turn, didn't it? You're all chuckly. The crimes were horrific. We're not going to go into the details. You can look it up if you want to, but
we'll be getting into that later.
Yeah, it was there was
some horrific. Hold on.
Some very horrific things that were done to these boys, and I guess one thing that I will share is that apparently they were used for harvesting of certain organs to be sold to a black market dealer, and this was part of how they were sort of generating funds for this cult.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can get rid of half of a liver, or like a part of a liver. You could at least get rid of one kidney.
I'll give you a kidney and a pinky.
Isn't that crazy?
This is nuts.
That's insane.
We need to cut this
thinking
out.
of it like that.
Well, every church needs an organ player.
Yeah.
So most of the children were, identified as indigent or previously missing, etc. But one boy actually escaped. His name was Juan de Clay Pinheiro. He was 9 years old, and he escaped and actually managed to name several of his attackers and prominent members of the cult, and arrests were made. He named several doctors, several wealthy local land barons, policemen, and he also named Valentina also as sort of the mastermind of this operation. 4 of the men were immediately arrested, and by 2005 or 2003, I apologize, they were put on trial and convicted. Valentina, however, was acquitted of the charges during the trial based on an alibi, which placed her out of the area during the murders.
And that was something that was, I guess, held up.
So this happened in 2003. This is 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but they probably had some kind of evidence that exonerated her. At least,
well,
right?
So
Or
from my research, it seems like this is the Charles Manson defense, right? Like she had people do things, but she didn't herself do the things.
Interesting.
Which, according to the boy who escaped, that was not true. He said that they had she was a participant.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was. She apparently, I actually looked this up. I did a little bit more research than I normally do, and I looked up their website. This cult is still active. They're trying to recruit members. They kind of try to distance themselves from the allegations. But I tried to check it out, and the site is fucking garbage. Like, you literally can't click on anything. It's like they thought the world was going to end in 1989, and that was the end of internet technology. Like, no further web development was done on that fucking website. It's like
the Space Jam
It's an
site?
Angel site. It's like an Angel Fire site or whatever.
Nice.
It's like legit, like
GeoCities.
terrible.
Can you click anywhere on it and then just do Control A and just see like where they thought links should have gone, and you can click on.
Ooh, I didn't even
things,
think
like,
about like getting in there and like getting into the Dom team. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, maybe get like, we can find her.
Oh,
Is this part of the story or
No, this is just ooze. These are like
That's a
additional
thought right
ooze.
there.
Ooh.
I didn't even
Fort
think about
Fritz investigates.
Okay, so no, so she was acquitted in 2003 and is sought by Brazilian and Argentinian police, but remains at large. Apparently, still holds several sermons in apparently Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Wow.
That's
Still
capital,
preaching
right?
the same stuff. Still saying Jesus is an alien and boys are bad.
I don't know that. I believe that she's tried to
Soften
the message
Pivot.
a little bit. But yeah, the essential idea is that our religions are a farce, and that she has been given this like exclusive glimpse into what's really going to happen.
Why? Okay, number one, why does she care? And that, like, what is she getting out of this? Just to tell people she's going to be right? Or
Well, no,
is
there
it-
was like your classic cult sort of like economic exploitation of like donate X amount of your money, sell all your stuff, give it to us. Like
Gotcha.
these people were living lavish lifestyles based on the earnings they were getting from the cult members. This is all very sort of similar. When I actually say it all like that, it kind of sounds like kind of fucked up and weird. Maybe I don't necessarily want to. I'm gonna take off the robe. I'm at least gonna take off the robe.
But you look so good in it. You look so
It's
I
pretty
popped
good.
it open,
adorbs.
and
How
I
did
did
you
like
get her direct measurements? It's weird.
Did you measure me?
I've been hanging out with you guys a long time now. Every time I hug, you notice
There's measuring tape.
I'm not really
Like make little
hugging.
notches.
You have like notches on your skin. You like mark it.
Well,